Alright, so I know you guys always ask for more Rocko videos, and I got this new camera that I've been using and it's so nice. Rocko's not a fan, so I'm just gonna use my phone. I'm gonna go old school, use my phone. He's really not a fan of any camera, but if he's gonna tolerate one, it's gonna be my phone. So I am just here visiting this handsome can in his aviary. And he's letting me have my phone. Hey, buddy. This is Rocko. And I think a lot of the time you guys don't see as many videos of him is because, one, he does hate the camera. So I hate having it in his face because a lot of the time it just kind of ruins our moments and our time together. Also, he loves being cuddled with two hands. So I hold his beak up with one hand and then I cuddle him with the other. And that's really hard to do when I'm holding a camera. So yeah, I guess our moments are more for us. They're less like, hey, let me educate you. Mostly because I don't feel qualified to educate on toucans. They're, you know, there's so much unknown about them, and that really freaks me out. So I get nervous about putting too much information out there. I'd rather direct you guys to the people who are responsible for importing them in the first place and being able to breed them in captivity, because that's really something that's really hard and to be successful at. And so I kind of try to refer you guys to those places instead. But I love my guy. And for those of you that are new to toucans, he's a Toco Toucan. He makes a few different sounds. One is kind of a croaking sound. It sounds like a giant frog. The other is kind of this like purring, clicking sound that you hear. He also has like a hormonal sound where it's kind of a squeak, kind of a dinosaur type sound, I guess I would call it. I do have some video of it on my channel. One of you guys asked where his nostrils are, so I'm going to show you. On the top of his beak, if you can see that. This camera is having a really hard time. There, oh, there we go. So right there and there, those are his nostrils. So I can actually smell his breath out of his nostrils. It's not usually too bad. Also, some of the things that you guys ask me about him, obviously it's known to a lot of people that toucans eat bugs and lizards and snakes and other birds' eggs in the wild, so obviously they're getting that protein. And do I feed him any live animal proteins in captivity? I do not. One, when we got into toucans, we had a Swainson toucan. It was a female, and we did give her mealworms. And then we talked to Jerry Jennings over at Emerald Forest Birds, who is responsible for bringing toucans into the US, and he has a very successful breeding facility for them. And he just kind of told us it wasn't necessary unless we were breeding her. So because we were not doing that, we stopped doing it, because honestly, when you give them mealworms, and I know some of you are going to be into this and some of you are not. I was not. They crunch them, so they like toss them back and forth, and you just hear all the little things breaking inside their little bodies, and then they toss them back, and sometimes they crawl back up. It's not my thing. I don't like it. I'm not a fan. Obviously, if I had to, if it was like part of his diet that I actually had to do, I'd make my husband do it. But but of course I would give them to him. But from everything that I have been able to consult with other people that know more than me about toucans, they've said it's not necessary unless they're breeding. So because he's not breeding, we don't do it. Yeah, I'm more into killing vegetables, guys. So it's just not my thing. Not my thing. Right? Also, since obviously he is omnivorous and it's instinctive for him to go after other birds, I don't usually have him around with my parrots, and that's because I have small sun conures, and it would be really awful for him to snatch one out of the air or do anything with this beak that can stab from much further away than their beaks, than a parrot beak can go and try to bite him. Equally, they can hurt each other, and I just don't want to be in that situation. I just don't feel like it's super smart to mix the two different types of birds. So instincts are kind of working against us on that, and I don't want to play with working against instincts. So yeah, I'm sure I'll get some rowdy comments about that, but we don't do that around here. You're such a handsome guy. You're such a handsome guy. Oh, you're so sweet. Interesting thing is that he has blue feet. So he's on a blue perch right now, and he's got blue feet. If you're wondering why this part of his foot is discolored, it's because he actually, like, somehow he hurt his foot. It was months back, but it healed a different color. So it's not fully healed yet. When it is fully healed, it'll be back to blue. But kind of cool because his feet match his eyes a bit. Right, handsome Kian? I know. He's like, get that camera out of my face. Also, the orange part around his eye feels like velvet. It's a skin versus a feather. I know. He's like, just get the camera out. And he is very, very, very soft. And this is how he preens. This is him preening. He obviously can't reach all the spots, but this is how he does it. Also, a cool fact about toucans is they get most of their hydration from their fruit diet, and they use their water dish mostly for bathing, but they still drink out of it, but they need a large round water dish. So this is the big old one we give him to use, and this is what he bathes in. I don't bathe him, he bathes himself, and it's kind of always been that way. He used to take baths in the sink, but when he was a baby, but he prefers to do all that himself. Oh, handsome Kian. Also, one of his favorite things is Rocco just absolutely loves being outside, which is why during the months that I can have him outside, I do. He will he will legitimately sunbathe. So he'll sit in one of his perches in the sun, and he will just spread a wing and enjoy it. He loves it. So I try to make sure that all my birds get as much outdoor time as possible because we have all 4 seasons here, so we can't do it year round. So we got to take advantage of when we can. Huh. And when we do take some of our other birds on travels, I will actually, when there's nobody in this aviary, which there is right now, I have my 2 macaws, but I will open this door up and he can fly through here, which I'm standing in a catch-all. He can fly through here to the other aviary, and that's one of his favorite things, is when we can open it up for both aviaries to be his. This is him preening. How a toucan preens. Look at that body. So another interesting thing about toucans, you know, somebody was saying that they're not harder than parrots, they're just different. Oh, okay, well this will be interesting. I know, can I just show them? He's like, don't show them my poop, that's horrible. This is what he just pooped out. So it's a grape. It's the skin of the grape. I know, beautiful for you guys. But I just think it's interesting because that's what comes out, is just the skin, and the inside is digested. He's getting super annoyed about the camera. He's like, get it out of my face. So anyways, where I was going with that is just that people were like, hey, you know, toucans aren't harder than parrots, they're just different. It's a different set of care and needs, and a lot of them can be similar, which is true. You know, they require outdoor sunlight. They require lots of space and attention and really good care and the water and everything. But one of the things that I find easier with parrots is that I can prepare their fresh meals ahead of time, freeze it and thaw it as needed, whereas with Rocco, I have to constantly be buying fruit so that it's fresh, and then I have to be preparing it every day for him. I can't just prepare a bunch of fruit ahead of time and then serve it because it goes bad and spoils so easily, and toucans do not like spoiled fruit. So they like it fresh just like you or me. And so I do find that part a little bit more maintenance-y, I would say, than parrots. Also, I find them harder to read in body language, so some of the sounds sound really like similar, especially that sound that you guys heard that's a little bit of a purring sound. Sometimes it can be agitated and sometimes it can be friendly, and sometimes it can start out agitated and then get friendly. So I think that they're a little bit complicated in that realm, but obviously if you're used to toucans versus parrots, then you might find them easier than parrots, and vice versa. Toucans tend to be a little bit more twitchy in their movements versus parrots, but yeah, I mean, overall to each his own. I would find reptiles hard, and that's just because I'm not a reptile person. I'm not familiar with them, and that's just me. But other people might say the same thing and say that parrots are incredibly hard and find their reptiles really easy. So I think it's just to each their own, right? Oh, bless you. I got a toucan sneeze. All right, I'm gonna leave him alone so that he doesn't continue to get irritated with my phone. He was like, I thought we were just hanging out, and then you put a phone in my face the whole time. Love you, Rockstar.